Even though you couldn't tell day from night in Antarctica, I know I was sleeping more and more while everyone else was awake, and at work, where I was supposed to be. I'd be late, but I'd wake up or come to eventually and go supervise my section of the mines and my half of the crew. Rayner and I worked in separate tunnels, so he never saw when I arrived, and quite frankly, so long as the right minerals kept accumulating, Rayner remained happy. A big boss hamster with big, fat, overflowing cheeks. I just about concluded that my crew didn't require supervision anyways, at least not to start the day. No matter when I'd turn up, the place would already be bustling about like a good little ant colony. And then one day I turned up to an empty mine. Holy crap, I thought. Rayner's going to kill me. But Rayner was in no condition to kill anyone. He was staring up at the ceiling like someone had clubbed him unconscious. One of the hunters had found him that way. And when Rayner hadn't responded, guess what that hunter did? Not knowing how to say, "Are you all right, sir?" in English, he did the only thing Rayner had taught him. He performed the blink test. Rayner wasn't dead. None of the miners were, but all of them were sick. So sick that none had made it further than the showers before giving up and retreating like sniffling children back under their bed covers. Each and every miner except me, of course. I'd woken up feeling pretty much the same as I felt any other morning. As the days went on, we all just assumed some bug was going around. Symptoms started with headaches, then progressed to coughing, a dry, raspy cough that kept you up at night, both from doing it and from hearing others doing it, all throughout the night, down the hallways, echoing. Our resident physician was a Burkinabe named Dr. Musawara, who, I believe, upon meeting me, felt immediately more concerned for my liver than for my head or lungs. When my symptoms progressed to the point that they confined me to bed, almost a week after everyone else, Dr. Wara made me his last stop of every evening. He'd make his rounds, then pop into my room for a few games of checkers. He never asked me anything as ridiculous as those questions from that self-diagnosis alcoholic website. Nothing like, do you hate the person you become while blackout drunk? Which I do, because that asshole drinks all my beer. But he diagnosed the source of my problems right away, and he tried to help. All I am saying, Dr. Wara said to me, is perhaps you should consider to quit before it is too late. No, I know what you're saying. I was deciding between two jumps. In checkers, if you can jump, you have to jump, or else you lose the potential jumper. Sometimes it's better not to jump and lose one piece than to jump and lose multiple pieces. You have to look ahead, 2, 3, even 4 jumps to see if you're jumping into a trap. Dr. Ward told me, you are having trouble seeing into the future because you drink too much. Might I suggest we resume tomorrow? Once you are more rested, yes? What? No, wait, man. Fuck that. Wait, did you say that or did I? Dr. Wara started to get up. No. Sit down, man. I'll go. Wait. I stared at the board like it was a menu, and a waitress was hovering over me, waiting for my order after everyone else at the table had already gone. Oh, shit, I announced right there, and I executed a double jump. King me. Dr. Wara took a deep breath and sat back down, shaking his head. You really want to go there? He asked. I said, king me, bitch, yeah. Dr. Wara shrugged. Okay, then, as you wish. And after placing another piece on top of mine to make it a king, he took one of his own kings and, first sliding it 5 squares down a diagonal row, jumped 3 of my pieces, leaving me with 2 pieces trapped and 1 king. Whoa, hey, I said. What the? This isn't chess. You can't move like that. 1 square at a time, buddy. I don't even know what to say to that. The maneuver Dr. Wara had executed was known world over as a flying king. Growing up in Burkina Faso, Dr. Wara had learned to play by international checkers rules. By these rules, kings can move like bishops on a chessboard before jumping. And since, if anything, we were over international waters, even if those waters were frozen, Dr. Wara argued that international rules applied. And as usual, he was right. About 2 days before the initial sickness faded, Dr. Wara said I looked like I was recovering. So now that you are merely drunk and not sick any longer, Dr. Wara said, let me ask, who was she? The girl. The one it was broke your heart. Dr. Wara had only graduated from medical school a few years ago, but he was old for his age. He'd worked in the harshest climates and conditions, with inadequate tools and outdated procedures. He'd operated on local warlords or their friends or children, more than once with a gun trained on his head. But the greatest obstacle he had to overcome, he told me, was a patient's own ignorance. The example he gave went like this. Africa has an AIDS epidemic, but they don't talk about it. Dr. Wara described how the villagers still believed in such things as human sacrifice and blood rituals, or the virgin cure. That's the claim that having sex with a virgin will rid a body of AIDS. Men had been known to rape 3-year-olds for the virgin cure. 3-year-olds, just to be sure that they were virgins, just to be safe. But do they ever actually talk about AIDS? No. They talk about pregnancy. Preventing pregnancy. That was the major topic of public debate in Burkina Faso. Preventing babies, not preventing people from screwing them. No one worried about death or rape or worse. They were worrying about life. Okay, easy, right? Pass out some condoms. Problem solved. Not so. Dr. Wara told the story of a man he'd met in a neighboring village. The man had explained how he'd just taken his fourth wife, who'd come with a handsome dowry. He was concerned because he very much wanted to fornicate with this new bride, as Dr. Wara put it, but knew he couldn't support another child, not even with the dowry. So Dr. Wara had produced a package of condoms from his pocket and presented them to the man and said, "Here, use these and you will not get pregnant." Though he said this in French or Moray or some other nonsense language. In any case, the man had gone away happy, and Dr. Wara didn't see him again for almost 3 weeks. When Dr. Wara returned to the village, the man came up to him and, shaking the doctor's hand in an ecstatic fashion, said, "Oh, those condoms you gave me, they work like a charm. You must come to my house and see." So, hoping the man had a less than literal idea of see in mind, Dr. Wara accompanied this man to his house. The man said to Dr. Wara, "Here, doctor, come with me to the bedroom. You will see how well the condoms work." Dr. Wara didn't know how to respond. As he told me, "He went to pull me by my sleeve, and so I followed, ready to shield my eyes, yes? But then I saw what he had done, and all became clear." What the man had done was to nail a condom on each of the 4 bedposts. And as the packet had contained 7 condoms, one for each day of the week, he figured, he nailed the extras over the headboard just to be safe. "Who was she?" Dr. Wara asked me again. I started to say something, started to smile, looked to the side. "If you keep drinking like this, you will die," Dr. Wara told me. "I'm already dead. Who cares?" "Who cares?" "Yeah, who cares? Who cares? I live, I die, without her." I shrugged, took a swig of whatever liquor was on sale that month. "Go and get her," Dr. Wara told me. "Take her back. It is within your power." Yeah, no, it's not. "It is. It's not. You don't understand." "Oh, don't I?" Dr. Wara's eyes narrowed, and he leaned back a bit. He said, "I was in love once. Fatima was her name. What was yours?" I hesitated. "Tell me, damn it." "Callie," I said, and Callie. She is still alive, yes?" "Sure, she's alive, but all right then." Dr. Wara slapped the tabletop, scattering the checkers. "So I do know. More than you, I suspect. I was married, Clay. Would be married still, were I able to say what you can say." I felt like we'd begun a game of one-upmanship, like when me and the guys from the football team used to compare battle wounds, or like in that scene from Jaws, a scar from me, a scar from someone else, a scar from me. Felt like that had begun, and then bam, out of nowhere, Dr. Wara had removed a prosthetic hand or arm or leg or something. But the more he spoke of her, the more it seemed like he'd played a prosthetic neck. Dr. Wara's wife was killed in a gang rape. "It was a misunderstanding," he told me. My eyebrows blew 30 feet in the air. What the fuck do you mean, a misunderstanding? How can you? "Yes," he didn't look up. "But you are not considering. They raped her." "Yes, but to death." "You think I do not know?" He sat back. "Are you trying to hurt me?" "You said it was a misunderstanding," I said. "Yes, it was a misunderstanding. They did not know. They did not know that she was married." I didn't even know what to ask anymore. The problem, you see, was that the word I knew as rape had no equivalent in any Burkinabe dialect. To them, if an unmarried girl was out after dark, that meant she wanted sex. Period. Full stop. She was either out looking for sex or she was a prostitute. And either way, you could grab her and take her back to your house and have sex with her. No questions asked. Or at least no questions answered. I asked Dr. Wara, how the hell can someone be a prostitute if there's no concept of rape? And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, if you can just grab any girl you want and have sex with her, then you mean have sex with a prostitute and not pay? But that would be stealing." He squinted at me. "Clay, I am not saying that it is right. I am just saying that it is." He raised his eyebrows and took a deep breath. "You think I do not know how you feel? The desire to die? But no, dying will not bring my Fatima back. Nothing will, for me. But for you, your love is still alive." He pointed at me. "You can go to her. Just not like this." "So what do you suggest I do?" I asked. "Don't you think I would have already done it if I thought it would have done any good? I'd die to get her back. I'd die. All you talk of is die. Live. Live." Dr. Wara leaned in closer and lowered his voice, speaking as though the words were too big for his throat. "Live. Live for her." He beat the heel of his hand against his chest. "Anyone can die for love. Will you live for it?"